Hello everyone. Today I'm demonstrating the extension I created called ThinkRead. Now, before I get into that, I should explain why I created this extension. And, I actually don't have an elaborate reason that I created this extension. Really, I just wanted to read the articles that I enjoy online through my web browser. I just wanted a distraction-free reading experience. I call it the e-reader experience because I had a lot of e-readers in the past and I absolutely loved it because there's just no distractions while I'm reading. So that is the big reason. And you know what? I think it's better if I just show you some of these sites that I visit. So if we take a look at BBC, when this page loads, you can kind of see giant ad at the top. Then when you start scrolling down, you see ads on the side, ads in the middle. See, this is probably an ad too, that's disguised as a video. Let's see here. Yep, and then you see stuff at the bottom too. The bottom stuff is not all that bad, but to me, I still see it, and to me, it's also still a distraction. Let's take a look at another site as well. So if I go here, and similar issue to the other site that you just see ads floating by, and you also see a sidebar over here as well that just kind of stays on the page. And then you have this site. Now The Verge, visually it looks great, but this looks more like a magazine article. But yeah, I mean, as cool as it looks, it's still kind of distracting to me overall. So here's how my extension works. It's pretty simple. Click on Start Reading, and then you get a very cleaned up view of the article that you're reading. And notice how my view automatically went into dark mode. This actually relies on the settings that you have for your browser. So if your browser is set up for dark mode, then it'll go into dark mode. But if you have light mode enabled on your browser, it'll go into light mode. But if you look at it, you don't really see anything on the side. You don't see ads. You don't see a sidebar. There's nothing to distract me from the core content of what I want to read. And then we can go to the next article. This one with the sidebar on the side that just stays next to everything you scroll through. Let's go ahead and turn on the reading. Or, sorry, turn on ThinkRead. And then now you have this cleaned up page. No floating sidebars, no ads, nothing. Now, an argument can be made that you can run an ad blocker and remove all the ads. Now, that is true. You can do that, but most ad blockers, they might trigger like a warning message on some of these websites where it wants you to turn off the ad blocker. Of course, there's options to get around that. But in this scenario, let's say if we go back to this article, you have the sidebar over here that just stays with you. Now, an ad blocker might be able to get rid of this one ad, but if a website has a sidebar that has more than just ads there, it might have related articles, you would see everything there throughout your whole entire reading experience. And to me, that's a no-go. I mean, if you're fine with it, that's cool. But for me, that's a no-go. And let's take a look at The Verge. Elaborate website, looks great. I think it would look great on print. But for me, if I just want to read, it's kind of hard to look at. So let's go ahead and start reading. And now you have a very cleaned up view of the article. To me, this is a thing of beauty. But I guess if you love this website, you love the way it looks, you probably appreciate the aesthetic over here. Now, what I just showed you is the free features that are part of ThinkRead. cleaning up the view, that's all free. That is free forever, no matter what happens. Now, I wanted to show you guys the pro level features. Now, before I say anything about the pro level features, I want to let you know you do have to buy a license for this, but it is a one-time license. This is not a monthly subscription, no hidden fees, nothing of the sort. And if you do buy the one-time license, any updates and any future features that I add on as a pro feature, you will automatically just get it. This is not the DLC model. Once you buy the one-time license, you'll get access to any features I add on later on. So I just wanted to make that clear with everybody. So let's go ahead and turn on these features. Let's go ahead and upgrade. Or not upgrade, sorry. I already have my own license key, so I'll just activate. And here's where the fun gets started. At least to me, this is where the fun gets started. And this is where it really starts feeling like an e-reader. And I mean that in the best way possible, because that is exactly what I'm going for. Let's go ahead and turn on Start Reading. And look at this. Let's also go over the features as well. So that might look familiar from earlier in the demo. We have other features here now, like the warm light intensity. You notice that the color of the text or the color of the cleaned up view starts looking more yellow for you. To me, I like a bit of yellowness to all the things that I'm reading. And you can choose fonts over here. Let's just go to serif. This is our classic serif for this one. We also have line height adjustments. So you can make it so there's less space in between the lines, or you can increase the space between the lines. Again, with the font as well, you can reduce the size of the font, or you can increase the size of the font. And with the license activation, you also get access to an AI component to this. Now, with this, I am not including an API key for you. This is a bring your own key model. So if you already have your own API key, let's say from Gemini, Groq, OpenAI, wherever, you just use your own API key. You own your own information. In this case, so any issues that you have with your, or not issues, I'm sorry, whatever service agreement you have with your AI vendor, it'll just follow that since it is your own API key. In this demo, I have Groq set up already. So let's go ahead and get out of the extensions view and let's test out the chat feature. So, you know, I haven't read this article. I'm just using it for a demonstration. If we go for chat, actually before I say demonstrate the chat, I want to show you that if you notice that the font over here and here in the chat window, it will follow whatever font style you choose. If you notice, I just changed it. The font for the chat box actually changes as well. I'm going to go back to classic serif for this one. I'm just going to ask, let's see here, summarize. Of course, Butterfingers right now. Summarize this article for the 3rd grade level. You know what? Maybe I need a typing class. I'm missing my keys all day right now. Or I need sleep. Summarize this article for 3rd grade reading level. Okay. You can kind of see. That actually came up pretty quick. Let's see. Groq, I gotta say, pretty good at beating Speedy for all of this. I do have a preference towards Gemini, but Groq is very fast. See, a new way to help men become dads. Okay, so that is the high level, or that is the summary of this for the 3rd grade level. Let's see here. Can you summarize this in 2 sentences? Okay. Article summary. All right. You know what? Let's throw in a random question here. Let's see here. What can we ask about this? Okay. What is the syndrome they're talking about? You know what? I think it's the Bluetooth thing that's making me drop keys. I used to use a dongle for this. Anyways, back to the article. Let's see here. What is the syndrome they're talking about? Okay. But yeah, the AI chat is available right when you get the license key for this. All right. Let's see here. We'll see this cleaned up view. Yep, and it preserved the fonts I chose as well, spacing and everything. AI chat is still present over here. Yep. And like I said, any features I add on later, if you already have the license, you'll just automatically get those features. Let's see here, The Verge. Let's see. Yeah, The Verge can be a bit messy as well on their site. I mean, visually it looks great, but like I said, I think it looks great for a magazine, like a printed magazine versus this. All right, so we got that cleaned up. Let's see here, warm light. Let's turn it off for this one. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. The goal is to give the e-reader experience in a browser. Now, I hope this was informative for everyone. That is it for this demo. If you have any other questions, feel free to just ask away. Feel free to ask in the comments section or send me an email about it. Again, it's pretty late over here on my side, so have a good night. See you guys in the next one.